this is an amazing, incredible topic to talk about, right? If you've been looking for a way to really create security, for want of a better word, around your income, a way of creating recurring income every single month in a way that doesn't require you showing up live in your business every single month, then what I'm talking about is the live launch track, going from launch to launch to launch. This is going to help you out today. And I came up with this idea because one of the biggest things that people come to me with is a lack of clarity around what they do. They're a light leader, and to get on that path, they've had so many experiences, right? And they've learned so many things, and they're wearing so many hats, and they want to help everyone. They want to help everyone with what they do. The second element is that they're usually playing small. So they're usually sitting just outside of where their greatness is. And because of that, the universe is dangling a carrot, right? Dangling the carrot of success and saying, play bigger and I'll land it in your lap. Keep playing small and I'll keep dangling it there. And they can't grab the carrot, and it's becoming frustrating. And the third thing is, and I went live about this on Facebook yesterday, and this is a very unconscious thing. Again, being a light leader, being connected to your dimensional lives, carrying these lifetimes through you. Often we're carrying a lot of associations to leadership that don't feel safe, that don't feel aligned. And we've really got to get clear about what leadership is for us, so that we can lead in our power, so that we can stand in our truth. To stand in our truth, we also have to heal the masculine energy within us that has had to stand up through time to fight, to be allowed to be all of the feminine, right? The feminine is the creative force. The feminine is the creative inspiration, but the masculine within us is also the protection that we find that allows us, enables us. It's inner protection, by the way. It's not coming from the outside in, to actually go forward with these ideas, right? So there is a journey of really becoming clear about who you are, where you want to lead, the movement you want to take forward, the message you want to stand behind, how you take your brand to, I'm talking a galactic level of messaging, right? Really standing behind the thing that makes you feel like you're going to vomit to talk about. And this is where I step in. This is where my greatness is you've got to believe that all of that is in your heart. I was breathing this morning and I was letting go, and I was allowing these feelings to move around and be, right? And when you allow your feelings to be, you allow your situation to be what it is, and you just feel it and you stir its creative juices. Your situation has creative juices. It is helping you to see into this web of illusion that has been spun with your mind out here, okay? And the web of illusion comes from your belief systems. And so your situation is always helping you. Your situation is always helping you to see. And I did a wicked presentation on this yesterday in a mastermind, pointing out it was 4 things. And within those 4 things, I talked about 4 things that you can use as gifts always to help you move forward in your situation, which is really looking at what you feel is a desire. Because when we desire something, we're creating a gap. What we feel attached to, because when we're attached to something, we are hooking ourselves upon an outcome. What you feel an aversion to, what you're avoiding, because again, when you're avoiding something, it's giving you beautiful messages about things that you believe and what you're resisting. Okay, so the universe is always happening for you, is always helping you to go forward. So how do you allow this to work through you in a magical way? listen to your higher guidance. Now, maybe I'm going a little bit off track here, or maybe not, because, you know, as you're going to see on A Baptism of Fire, that's going to drop at the weekend, which is episode 4, Carmen's story, my client Carmen's story. And my client Carmen, when she came to me, was a birth doula, and she was doing it as like a, you know, literally a hobby on the side, right? She was struggling for cash. She'd been in a mastermind for a while. She wasn't succeeding there. She wasn't thriving there. And she came to me, and it was last ditch attempt to lead, to become a leader, to step into something that felt aligned to the size of her freaking soul goal. She couldn't afford to be in the program. It was a massive leap of faith. And that leap of faith has been the making of her. And she has had to face every single fear that has come up in moving out of her part-time job to supplement her side hobby, turning her side hobby into a full-time business, and allowing the things, her divine passions, her divine gifts, to guide that business forward, to evolve. Now she's not just a birth doula. She is a birth doula and a business leader. She is helping women to do both. It's like the utopian 4th trimester, right? You get your business to a place before you even fall pregnant, so that when that baby comes along, your focus is on the baby and not on your business. You don't have to realize somewhere through your maternity leave that you don't want to go back to work, that you want to be at home, you want to be a mum. And you get to have this utopian birth, because she believes, like I believe, that the body is fucking superhuman and it can do anything. And she says this magical quote, "The way that you birth defines how you lead." And that resonates with me so deeply, because giving birth undisturbed at home is about getting over your fear and trusting in the power of your mind and your body, embracing that power, allowing, relaxing, feeling pain, feeling struggle, and breathing through it. I had this moment when I birthed my 3rd daughter at home. I call it transition, when things get really tough, things get really painful. You know you're there because you feel like you can't do this, right? And I felt this fear come in, and I took my hand and I put it up inside of myself, because I remembered this thing that I've watched about the Douglas pouch. There's this Douglas pouch at the back of your cervix, I think. And it said that it opens up when the baby comes down. I was like, I'm going to test this theory, and off I go. And there was this massive space. And then there was this little head, this little silky head in my hand. And I just trusted my body. I trusted the process. I trusted that me and my baby were in a process. We were in a birth. We were birthing new life. Life is an adventure. Life is a river, and that river is gonna fucking flow however hard you fight. You know, yes, you're gonna hit those rocks in the middle. Yes, you're gonna get your ankles wrapped around reeds off the bottom, but life is a river. And if you really want to flow into the most magical experience of life, the most expanded experience of life, you've got to let go to that flow. You've got to surrender. And so, why am I telling you all of this? I told you I'm going to get on here. I'm going to tell you how to make 10K a month with a book funnel. I can tell you how to make 10K a month with a book funnel. I built the most incredible funnel behind not my first book, but my second book and my third book. And the process of building this funnel helps you to go through all of these rites of passages, right? You think of these as rites of passages, stepping into your leadership, stepping into your full light, finding your radical expression, allowing yourself to love, to trust, and be unafraid to stand in your power and say the stuff that means the most to you. So this process that we built behind publishing a book, basically, this process helps you to really define your unique messaging. This process connects you to your unique value, because you have unique value. Nobody else does what you do. But if you try and fit yourself into the box of everybody else, you'll just dilute the strength and magic of what you do, right? It helps you to come up with your proprietary terminology and methodology. You know, I am winning on a massive level right now because I am following my movement of awakening your miracle frequency. You know, having a methodology behind that, the Awakened Wealth Blueprint, tangible steps that you can take to a 7-figure empire that does not rob you of your personal freedom and takes your fucking light leadership to a galactic level. Tangible steps. Tangible steps give people certainty. Terminology give people certainty, right? We've been brought up, we've been conditioned in a way that is telling us that everything has to have a scientific basis to it. Everything has to have a name. So use that. Help people to understand what you do by giving it a name, giving it a methodology. And I help you to come up with this as part of creating this funnel, right? And going along this process of really getting clear on your messaging really unearths your blocks. It really unearths your fears. But the only thing about book publishing is when you sign your name on that line, there's no getting out. I used to say when I fought Muay Thai, the only way out is through. I cannot ditch and run before I get in that ring. I've got to get up the runway, over the ropes, and I've got to fucking bow to that girl. And then I am out, right? Then I am through. The only way out of your book publishing journey is through. You're going to have to be in that river, allow the flow of life to bring these blocks to you, to illuminate your web of illusion so that you can pluck out the fucking beliefs that are not serving you. Give me 1 second. I have Lil ready to jump in, but I'm not quite ready. I will be with you in 2. Okay. Patience, dear Lil. Patience, Grasshopper. So Lil is my book publisher because we have an offer for you at the end of this, by the way. It's wicked, and I want you to meet Lil. Lil is in the episode of A Baptism of Fire that's dropping this weekend as well. So this process makes you face your fears of playing bigger, right? This is really important. It helps you have more authority and reach, and it really chucks out this shit that you've got, that you're holding on to about judgment, failing, being rejected, and also leading. Another really important part is it gives you clarity of the journey that your client takes when they come to you. So I've just had a client have a massive win, 5 figures, or at least, no, sorry, that's not true, 4 figures. But it's a massive jump in income for her because she was earning, a few $100s, right? So now she's earning a few $1,000s just because we got clear on all of this, and also including the journey that her client takes when that client comes to her. Because often when we're not succeeding, we're only seeing the first step they take, and there's a whole journey beyond that, and we've got to get clear about it. And your client needs to be clear about it. Again, we are creating certainty so that somebody trusts to come on the journey with you. They trust that there are steps, they're going to get what they need to solve the problem that they have and live in the desire of what they want, right? So I think that's probably enough. I'm going to go into the mechanics of the book funnel, maybe just a little bit, but I'm going to bring Lil in now. Here she comes. So my morning decaf. Lil.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm here. How am I? How are you?
I love you. This woman has absolutely changed my life in the last 12 months. She took my dream to a reality. She really gave me faith that this little manuscript that I'd written down could become a masterpiece. And she helped me turn it into a masterpiece. And now she's helping my clients turn their soul stories into masterpieces as well. She's a genius. She is a ghostwriter, a writer herself. And this is also a lady with a freaking huge mission. Do you want to talk about the center of influence, Lil, just quickly?
How did this happen?
This
So I went to
The
lunch.
river.
It all went
I
wrong.
don't know if you watched this
I
the training, but it was the river. The river happened. But keep going.
I went to lunch with a woman who was trying to put together a book with a bunch of ladies, and she couldn't seem to get them to sign on for the thing. She had the 2004 Miss America as kind of the anchor, and she said, well, she's like the center of influence. And some kind of crazy light bulb went off over my head. And she's like, I would love to do more books of this nature if I can get this one going. And I said, no, no, no. This is a thing that has to be a community, not just a bunch of, similar to everyone else's anthologies. So little by little, over the next course of the next month or so, I ruminated on it and came up with a whole lot of reasons why this could work and all the things that would be the assets that people needed. And called my poor web developer and said, hey, guess what you're building this week? And we built this whole thing. And the idea is, we talked about this last night with the Sacred Connection Group, which is one of our books. The Sacred Connection Group is launching their Center of Influence community book on November 11th for 11/11. And I was saying, like, the idea is having people, when you think about, like, I live in a small town and we're very insular in a lot of ways, but there are other small towns around us that also do really cool things. And, or if God forbid something happens over there, we send our fire department over. We want to have them come to our events and we go to their event. So I wanted to build like little communities within the community that had a particular bent in life. They wanted to be spiritual, or they wanted to talk to dads, or they wanted to talk about grief, whatever it might be. And then those little towns inside our village, our community, whatever, would be able to communicate with one another. So Leading with Light Volume 1 is doing beautifully. People are buying it. People are loving it. Everyone has their chapters pretty much, except I think you, Claire. So we're waiting on something from you, aren't we? So yeah, so we do, like, everyone gets their chapter individually put together and sent out to them so they can use it
Let's
for
backtrack
lead
for a
generation,
moment,
that
'cause
kind of stuff.
I haven't talked about Leading with Light yet, because I wanted to wait for you.
Sure.
So Lil had this amazing idea because, like me, she believes in the power of story. You're gonna see Lil in the episode of A Baptism of Fire this weekend. She's gonna make you giggle. But what she says is key. Stories change people's lives, and what she's saying with the Center of Influence is there are people who have influence in different areas. And so it's like bringing all of this influence together and creating connection and creating opportunities for authors. Because one of the big issues for authors, I've talked about the issues as an entrepreneur. Now let's talk about the issues of authors. You put your book out there, but that does not mean it gets read. It does not mean it makes you money. It doesn't even mean that it impacts people, right? So we want to be working on this. And Lil and I came together and we had this little idea, and like Sacred Fire's like going off a little bit. We're like, this is good. Why don't you come into my mastermind and work with my clients and get them into either anthologies, if they want to start there with a chapter, or their own books? Exactly the process that I took with you. And then obviously building my funnel behind the book as well, so that we are guaranteeing that people not only read your book, but those people become your clients. And
it's the hustle after. It's totally the hustle after. And you were in Victim to Victory before you even wrote your own book, which was great, 100%. Right. And so sometimes people aren't ready to write 40, 50,000 or even 30,000 words. So the anthologies are perfect. You do that, you get your feet wet, you got started like you did with Victim to Victory. That was great. And then he just came to me and he said, Lil, I have another whole book. I'm ready. And we put the whole book together. And then you became instrumental in working with me with the Center of Influence community so we can follow some of the same processes for some people. There are people who are ready to go. They've got a book in their head. They know what it's about. They've written it, or they need some coaching, or we take you wherever you are. Like in your case, most of it was written. You just needed some coaching and a little editing. We put it together, right? Some people, they can't write a word. They come to me and say, ideas. Can I just tell you about it? Write it down. Okay, you go write it, go. And because they have either not the time or the inclination, or then that's not their skill set. And then we ghostwrite for them, and then we do the rest of the work, the editing and publishing. So yeah, there's so many ways to go with this. And your people are, I think, ideal for this kind of thing. They should be writing. And once you have a book, you really can go further and further and further.
You've got short of time, so let's talk quickly about Leading with Light. So what we've done, Lil and I, this year is we've proven that our magic together works in the release of a book that was head authored by a beautiful woman called Jess Riddell. She's a spiritual sales coach.
And you.
And me. And we put together Leading with Light Volume 1, which is prominent thought leaders sharing their usually quite diversive messages, right? The Leading with Light book is for you if you have something to say that not everybody else is saying it. If you're ready for people to hear things in a way that is going to help them because it's helped you and you know that it's different. You know, it's creating the light, becoming the lighthouse for so many people in the world right now who are stuck. So that's what we were doing with the Baptism of Fire, is profiling my clients going through the journey with Lil and I to write their chapters in Leading with Light, but also build their book funnels behind this book as well. And one of the really unique things of GWN as an anthology publisher is they do give you your chapter. So you don't end up just being in this book. You get your individual chapter back to do whatever you want with. You know, it can become an ebook. So, and that is what we're using for this book funnel as well. So right now, we're really excited to share that there is a volume 2. There is a volume 2, and we're looking for authors to come into this book. We're looking for you to share your stories. We're looking for you to make a difference with your message. Everything that I've shared before Lil came on about how difficult it is to actually come to a place of clarity with what you want to say. We're going to help you with that. We're going to help you get clear. We're going to help you define your message down so that it's potent, it's powerful, and you get to work with me. You get to work with me and my magic that is helping you weed out all of these limiting belief stories, keeping you small, living in this web of illusion instead of in your freaking heart space where your power is, so that your power grows, right? So that your words are stronger, so that you move more people. And the universe can only flood that back in abundance. But we've also got the proof behind these beautiful people who have come through, and myself, with how this funnel really works to bring people into your world and keep them there if they're not ready to buy straight away from you, right? If they're not ready for a sale, your book is their transformation. You're out there on social media all day long trying to convince people and create the transformation. You're doing these live launches to bring more people to you. It's exhausting. Kick out the hustle and try it this way. But at the same time, make a freaking difference. What do you feel about Leading with Light, Lil? Because I know that it's special to you too.
The diversity of ideas, and at the same time, the congruency of those ideas is astounding. You know, everyone had a slightly, like Jess talks about ageless living. Jess is in her 50s. She looks like she's 30, right? But she lives like she's 25, right? And she's so exuberant. And she talks about you don't have to be the age that you're assigned in terms of the numbers. You can be that, you can walk from different age groups. She swims with 60-year-old ladies and goes out partying with 20-year-olds. She just has an idea of what life is supposed to be about without that number, right? Yeah. And you talk about shamanism. Louis talks about how we feel about the dead and where we see them, and what would we do if we could admit that we can kind of reach into the other world. Deanna's chapter about what would you do if you knew what your soul purpose was? Would you do things differently in your life? If somebody told you this is what you're supposed to do, how would you change? That's a brilliant idea. I mean, all the chapters are brilliant in one way or another. People are succeeding more than I ever could have imagined, from especially your your crew of. I'm watching them get more and more clients, and that Amazon bestseller badge doesn't hurt either. You know, that's a nice thing to have. And of course, our books are we really push to do that. We know we have the formula. God willing, we do it every time,
and it works.
Continue to do it, and it works. And people see that. Oh my gosh, they're now. And the thing about the books that I found different. I own 3 companies, but GWN Publishing is my main publishing company. It's Ghost Writers Network. We don't ghostwrite most of the books, so we do the acronym. But I also own Center of Influence Community. And the difference with GWN, we have people who do books. I have a woman who, I won't say who it is, she needs to put something together to kind of move her business along. And she's going to put 40 people in a book next year. GWN will do that with her. they're all going to write 1,000 words and not pay a lot. They're going to do, she needs to build this community up, and I'm happy to do it. But to be honest, that's not going to have the power of 10 people in a book. That's it. We will not put more than 10 people in any center of influence anthology ever. You're not going to write 1,000 words. You're going to write 5,000, 6,000. I think Judith went to 7. We lost her at 6. You lost her at 6,500. She's like, "Is it okay?" I'm like, whatever. We don't care. We want you to have a big chapter, lots to say. Use that for an ebook later, because then it's a whole ebook later, right? You have a whole thing you can give away. So we don't have those rules. We don't have the stupidity. I mean, it's fine to have a lot of people in a book, but you're not going to get that sort of clout when you only have 10 people in a book and you have this big chapter to use, and you can communicate with other people that are like you in a community. So I think that's the big difference with what we're doing there. And I just think Leading with Light too, we've already got a couple people in. We only have a few spots, left at this point. People are starting to join up. So I'm glad about that. Yeah,
and
we're just going to keep
right. I think this is really important, because I remember carrying this big cloud of baggage in my head when I knew I had a story to share, but I couldn't, who's going to publish it? How am I going to pay for it? How am I going to do it around everything else? How, like, blah, 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 right? And the thing is that you create this with me end to end. You don't have to worry about anything, nothing. You just have to show up. Everything, as I was saying before, it's a methodology. It's a step by step. I have the steps laying out for you. You will become clear really, really fast. And what we've seen with the first authors that we've brought in from the mastermind, within step number 1, their clarity and their quantum leap was galactic. They have gone from here to here already, and they're on step 1. They're meeting with Lil next week. They're starting to build out their outlines of their chapters. Like, this project's moving, guys, and we have a deadline January. So we want to get you in now. If you want to write, there are multiple options. You can just write your chapter in Leading with Light with Lil, or you can get some support to build this funnel behind your book so that your book becomes an evergreen sales asset that is creating income for you every single month on automation. And you can get extra support there as well. You can get that as just digital support, follow the steps by yourself, or you can come into the mastermind and be supported by me. So I'm putting those 3 offers out there today, and they will get snapped up. And I'm really excited if you would like to join Lil and I in this movement, because, and Jess, it is a movement. It is a movement of light for all the people out there right now in the world who really need to see that there is a lighthouse to follow, to look towards, to walk towards. There is hope. There is love.
Look at the world right now, you guys. What in the hell is happening? I mean, seriously, what is happening? I've got an 8-year-old grandson. I am petrified. We need to bring some light into the world. No matter what you're writing. I don't care if you're writing a business book. Bring me something that has light and it has an answer, some kind of an answer. Seriously, we gotta do something. So whatever your bent is, wherever you are in your process, I do not do this alone. My genius is in knowing how to work with the right people. 100%. You'll see a lot of me in coaching. I'm a writer. I'm a good writer, and I've been writing a long time. I've written many, 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 many books. But we coach every week, and you'll get to talk about outline, and you get to talk about the process and read some of your stuff and get feedback from me. And you send it to me, and I read it, and then the editors read it. But I have 2 editors and 2 designers and a web developer and someone who does all of our video content and all that sort of thing. I can't do this by myself. So you're not getting me. You're getting a whole team behind me, thank God, because I would be a mess without them.
And you become part of the center of influence. This is the beautiful thing. After the journey with the book finishes, you still get to stay in the center of influence. And, Lil's working there to connect your book to other of these, little communities and networks. You can put your products on the website and offer your programs and
workshops,
and it's an amazing opportunity.
I'm doing one right now. I gave the Center of Influence people a $200 discount to take the workshop I'm doing. We have half a dozen people meeting with me who are very new entrepreneurs, and they're having a lot of fun. We're doing that every Monday night for 6 weeks. So you can put your own workshops in. You can come to networking events. We're building up more networking events, and so there's lots to do. You get a community out of it. I am going to have to leave you because I do have a client who's looking to do some where to get I promised her this, where I jumped out of her normal 2 o'clock meeting for a minute.
Okay,
she said that was okay.
Appreciate you.
Anything
Love
you need
you.
from me, I hope some of you are listening. If you have any questions, just ask Claire, and we'll get you going.
Perfect. So, speak to you soon.
Do you need me for anything else? Anything else before I roll?
No, you're good? Amazing. Thank you. I'll just finish off.
Thank you. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
So that's Lil. You're going to smile when you see Lil's little intro on A Baptism of Fire this weekend, which I'm just so excited to drop, because, you know, maybe you're listening to this and you're like, I still don't get it. You know, how's this going to make a difference to me? Carmen's story is going to help you to understand how this can make a massive difference to where you are right now. If you're looking to take things to the next level, if you're looking for light leadership, if you're looking to put yourself out there, if you're looking to go from struggle and hustle to easy money every single month, making that money in a way that you know is helping people, because I still get comments every single day from people who are reading my book, who are saying to me, Claire, that right there just changed my life. And that's just my story. And that's the thing, all those, you know, rocks and reeds, rocks that you've hit and reeds that you've got your legs trapped around in the river as you've flowed down this river of life, they're your power to other people. They are your light to other people. You've gone through all of it so that you can help people. But like I talked about in my chapter in Leading with Light, Volume 1, sometimes as a heart-centered entrepreneur, as a spiritual entrepreneur, as a healer, as you know, a light leader, we take that little bit of growth, and then we try to run out and force the world to change with us, right? But what we're doing there is we've just got a little torch, and we're just shining a little bit of light on a path, and people can't see it. What you've got to do is you've got to go all in this journey. You've got to go all in the journey of your growth. You can't duck out when things get difficult, when you feel resistance. You can't then decide that you're going to manipulate, control your path, because your path has been written for you. The opportunity showed up, you said yes to it. You got to stay on the path. You've got to receive the guidance. It's all a mirror. You know, whoever you're in front of, whatever you're experiencing, it is just a mirror, and it is a beautiful reflection of what needs to change in here. And Carmen faces such deep fears, you know, about leadership, about her leadership. And what happens when you face those fears is you suddenly become the lighthouse. So much more of you opens up. You can give so much more, and people start to see that light, and people start to flood towards that light. And that is what I want for you. So if anything has resonated with this training, I cannot wait to talk to you about how you would like to be part of Leading with Light Volume 2. If you would like to be connected with Leading with Light Volume 1, drop a comment. I can sort that out. And I'm going to have my diary open for calls just next week. So I'm going to put a call booking link down in the comments. And that's how you can take this project forward, is to just book a call. There's not many spaces, so get in quick. And yeah, we'll see if it is a fit. I'll answer your questions, and we can, understand which route is better for where you're at, where your budget is at, what your vision is, and the kind of support you need. I hope that was helpful. Sending you lots of love. Bye-bye.